welcome back to the Under the Influence podcast, where we stay seriously unserious. As always, I'm your host, Ethan Blake. And without further ado, here is the episode. Ba-dum-bum. I don't have theme music yet. That's a drawback that I kind of need to get over. I'm being completely honest. The lack of theme music is something that I really do sincerely apologize for. I'll figure something out. Hopefully soon because of, the engineer contact I now have. I wouldn't even say it's really a contact like that. It's just, well, I mean, yeah, it's a guy on my phone, so I guess contact, there you go. So yeah, if I ramble a little bit, please forgive me. I am trying to make this seem as unscripted as possible because I realized that when I was using the 8.5 by 11 before, um, episodes seemed very scripted, and I didn't like that very much. So we're just gonna have some notes, and we're gonna go from there. First and foremost, I definitely have got to start off by talking about my San Antonio trip. San Antonio was so much fun. I met up with my aunt. Um, y'all have seen my aunt on the page before Instagram. She was the one that I went to South Padre with, so that was really lit. In San Antonio, she already had tickets to see Jo Koy on his world tour, so that was really really cool. I was happy for that invite. And then she also knew about this Beatles cover band that it was playing at the Tobin Center, which hosts a lot of really great comedians. And if I'm being completely honest with myself, y'all, I would say that probably the concert, like the Beatles tribute concert, I would say that was probably the thing I enjoyed more. Just because, first of all, I am a hoe for live music, as you know. I would hope all of you guys are. Who doesn't love a live show? But also the fact that Jo Koy, you know, I can't even begin to speculate what the pressures or what any of that entails when you're on a world tour. However, from the audience perspective, it seemed like he was wasted, and that didn't really take away from the show. It just sort of threw his act off a little bit. So I mean, I guess someone could say it took away from the show. I don't want to make that big a deal out of it because I still loved it. I still had a lot of fun. And it's just one of those things where I'm just gonna have to go to more comedy shows to really have a better understanding of, I guess, what the atmosphere is like. But anywho, the Beatles cover band was so much fun. They did a bunch of costume changes, just going through the decades. They had a what is it? They had a Sergeant Pepper tribute, which was very very cool. They had their musketeer outfits on, so really bringing it back, groovy as they would say, as the kids of that millennia slash decade would say. It's the same difference, whatever. Um, but yeah, it was definitely something I need to do more as far as just the live shows. I personally have just a weird social anxiety where I cannot stand going out alone. I have a big philosophy where I never want to be the sad, lonely guy at the bar drinking by himself, and that still stands very true to today. Because, well, especially now that I'm old enough to go out to bars and stuff. Before it would just be some some person that I would just pay to give me a case or something or whatever. I would raid mom and pop's liquor cabinet like good little Jewish boys do. And it's just because of that, I also have a weird, I wouldn't say a fear of introduction, it's just more so a fear of opinion. I forgot what the actual phobia term is called because I'm not smart like that, but that's pretty much what it is. I I like, I guess, critical judgment as far as, creative stuff. Like, as far as this, bring on all the hate, or hopefully it's just love, but bring on whatever. Any points you think I should do better, or whatever, I welcome that. Just stuff about me personally, it's hard to take that in strides, I guess. So that is sort of, but that's just sort of my fear of introduction to people, and that's a weird little depressing slope into why I don't want to drink alone at a bar. But it's beside the fact. I'd rather drink alone in my apartment. Equally sad. Moving on. Let's see. Oh, episode stats. That's right. We have notes. All right, grow up, people. If what I really need to do is just have a notepad, but it's this is my notepad, little non-sponsored cell phone. Episode stats are something I really wanted to share with y'all because I think that, especially the loyal people who have been tuning in consistently, would appreciate. I use a service which helps boost my YouTube views, or at least channel presence on YouTube, and I don't really know how specifically it does that. Like, I don't know if it's via bots or what. I can't really complain because it's helping the algorithm, I guess. So there was my last episode with my mentor Medrick Greeley. That was a First of all, that's my favorite episode. That was shot so well just for what I've got. You know, just being able to reposition the camera and everything, actually get him to sit behind the kit. I could have gotten him to solo a little bit. That'll be for next time. Medrick, it's for next time. And yeah, just the way we shot that was just so on par with how the original vision of the show was, that I really am excited to dive deeper into stuff like that, and especially invest in the studio time for an actual like professional style podcast interview or special guest feature. Studio also has gaming there, so I could do like a gaming episode. That'd be pretty tight. But episode stats about this past one are really interesting to me because the service that I use, I'm not going to say the name just because there's millions of them, and if you find one that's better, let me know. I just don't feel like sharing the name of it. Um, Basically, it says that some of my videos have over 1,000 views, over 2,000 views, and YouTube analytics are really hard to sort of decipher because it's very broad strokes. It could be like they clicked on it by mistake and then got to what they were originally, looking up. It's really, it's a weird space to sort of like get accurate metrics. That's something Jared Falk was telling me about, and that's something I definitely learned. So for this episode, which was I consider my most genuine episode, I wanted to have the most genuine response. So I didn't do any additional advertising. I didn't invest in any commercial or third party bots, or however they do it. I just wanted to see what the organic growth would be of just word of mouth, and it has been great. Currently on the YouTube we have just under 50 subscribers, I believe, and the video is over 30 views. I think it was, I last checked. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But just like, I know these are incredibly impressive numbers, right? But in all seriousness, what that means is the follower retention I have, and like, I guess follower retention in terms of a creative space can be determined as the people that actually follow you, watch your stuff, or I mean follow you, see your post, and then follow the post if it leads to another link. So like if I'm posting about an episode, they'll follow the link to the episode. If like a little more than half are responding, in regards to the huge people out there, and I don't want to consider what I'm doing to be an influence, like an influencer thing, because in all honesty, no one should be listening to me. This is just something for fun. This is something that I hope eases your days by laughing with me or at me. The attention is all fine, but I read that these big parties, these big celebrities and other influencer types and, creative people, their following base of, people who actually will spend money on them, who will actually watch their stuff, click links, follow, the posts and, all this, you know, all this rigmarole. I think the number I saw is around like 2 to 10% are actually like interacting. And just comparatively, even though I have a small channel, that's just about 50%, maybe more, of, actual interaction, of, follower retention. So I would like to definitely take a moment to shout out every single solitary one of y'all who have been, I best basically just keeping me ahead of everyone else. And, the the way I say that, I know sounds kind of, egotistical, especially for the fact that, I don't even have 100 yet. But subscriber aside, it's just the fact that those statistics speak for themselves, just off of organic growth or just organic sharing. Around 50% of the total following, and that's just on YouTube. I have more on Instagram. I don't even think I need to get onto Twitter more, but that's not even the total amount of followers I have. So just in terms of, like subscribers and loyalty, that is just fantastic. And some of the same people are on, YouTube and Instagram, so it all balances out. But aside from all that, everything has been great. Um, I have an opportunity to help my buddy, with some gigs, so I'm gonna be doing that more. And part of the reason before why I didn't want to work with him is because I was afraid of taking too much away from the podcast. But like that's why we're on this schedule now. And speaking of which, I did want to tweak the schedule again. I know I keep bringing that up, but that's something that's going to happen. As well as the bar reviews, I kind of depressed all of y'all earlier in the episode about my weird social anxiety, but that's going to come. It's more so just finding the cameraman. Also, I need to invest in new mics if I'm going to be taking this, in public, because everything I have right now is just hooked up to a computer and stuff. So I would need to invest in a like light for the camera that I record on, and then just portable Bluetooth mics or something. Um, so yeah, there's some stuff that's there's still money to be spent, obviously, and there's still room to grow. I'm doing outreach as much as I can. It's difficult, I'm sort of that's something I've been realizing about myself. I'm slowing down a little bit with the outreach side, and I really don't want to do that because of the early responses I was getting, and maybe that was me dipping my toes in too deep waters, or however the phrase goes. I think that just the fact that these people responded so well means that everything is going accordingly. Um, I'm not the motivational type. I mean, really and truly, if you know me like personally, I'm kind of a very dry individual. But just the fact that there's been a very healthy response from all of this is just is honestly has been blowing my mind. I want to do more covers. I want to do like I don't know if it's copywritten or not, so that's why the air quotes for this. I want to do my own version of a Tiny Desk concert. So musicians far and wide, hear my plea. Come on, let's make a song, or let's play a song, or whatever. That is something that I'm reserving for a live stream, and I'm not talking about just like Instagram live. I want to get on Twitch eventually, or just some live streaming thing, not Periscope. I don't like that's like Tumblr era. That's like early 2000s or mid 2000s. I don't even know, but we're past that. This is the here and now. So we're using or YouTube Live. So we're using Twitch or YouTube for the live stream. It's all up in air still. These are just loud thoughts that I'm, just speaking. And in any case, the podcast is always going to be here for the foreseeable future. So, Y'all are the reason why it keeps going, really. And I do a lot of, I know I do a lot of uh, fan praise. That's important. I don't think enough of these big shows really shout the fans out the way they need to. You know, I'm a nobody, but I got 30 people who tune in and listen to me. That's awesome. Those are cult numbers. Let's get them up to religion numbers. um, I don't want to drone on. I know you don't want me to either. This has been a very, very, very good episode. Very chill episode. Very calm episode. If you haven't noticed yet, I don't know why you guys haven't. I got a new couch. Y'all could have said something about that. In any case, as always, I'm your host, Ethan Blake. This has been the latest installment of a series of installments later to come of a little show I like to call Under the Influence, Seriously Unserious podcast. Stay well, stay safe, stay seriously unserious. I'll catch you at the next one. Peace.